Oh! Bah. I like it. This is gonna be awesome. God. So let's see where we left off. Here we have a meteor ball, and you can see we have this kind of sweet trail behind it. I really like how it turned out. I mean, we can always come back and tweak it. Um, I'm more of my philosophy when making a game that has so many aspects to it is to go breadth first, instead of digging deep into what could end up being like a huge um, rabbit hole. You know, I could tweak and play with that ball's effects for a long time. But what's important now is getting all the functionality that I want in this game. Um, so right now we're gonna stick with what I got with that fire trail, and now we're gonna put it to use. The next thing we got to do is, I mean, how's this ball gonna show up? So I already have an idea of what I want. I want to have right over here under this, what I call this is like the fire gauge. When it fills up, I want to generate these meteor balls, and we don't want to drag them off of here. So essentially, it's going to be an extra ball. You know, you start with 5 balls. You could drag off a meteor ball, have an extra one, and throw it. Um, and after your first throw, the ball will kind of dissolve or disintegrate until you earn another ball and you can use it. Up to 3. I think I'm going to go up to 3 balls. That's how I'm picturing it. So what we're going to do is we're going to start by creating this UI widget. Now, I want a fancy widget like this one here, how I have this material and this glow. It is really not that easy or intuitive to do because it's 2D. But to get all these effects, we need the rendering in 3D. So we have to do a lot of tricks to get it to work. So that's what I intend to do today. So let's just start immediately, right? Um, Breaking down into a simple task of we need a, a gauge there. So let's dig into our in our core folder. I have my UI. So these are all my UI widgets. I try to keep them all in here like this. Now what I want to do is I'm going to call it the Meteor Gauge. So let's make a new UI widget. A widget blueprint. We'll call it Meteor Gauge. Now let's see. It's not gonna. We just need a placeholder in here, um, so we could visualize it on the actual game UI. So um, let's delete this canvas and let's start with a vertical box because I know that I want a vertical box of meteor balls. Um, just keep checking to make sure that my face isn't frozen. And so far, we're looking good, which is super exciting for me. If any of you have seen any of my previous streams, not so lucky with that. For those of you who are interested, my solution was just switch from Streamlabs back to OBS Studio. Think it's working. I don't know. All right, so where's my containers? Let's just look. Vertical box. So I'm gonna drag that in. Um, I don't want to fill the screen. I want desired on screen because I just want to. I'm not interested in the entire canvas. I just want this one element. So I have a vertical box, and just for now, I mean this will be dynamic, of course, but right now I'm just going to add an image. And for a placeholder, I mean that would work, but let's switch it for a material. Brush, image. Can I just pick a material? What about my fire one that I already have? No, what did I call it? Meteor. I just did it. Meteor. It's kind of hard, like learning how to code with this. with this in my face. Um, Hopefully I'll just like I'll ignore it eventually. This material does not use the material I domain. Ah, okay. So we're gonna have to make a new material. That's fine. That's cool. Um, let's create a new one. Let's create a new material just for get out of here. How do I reset this? Reset back to normal. Um, let's create a new material. Great, 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 great. And we'll put it in our core UI mats. And let's call this Meteor Gauge. Say, no, Gauge Mat. It's fine, whatever. Now we do want to change the material domain. Unreal will just take care of that for us. And now we can go in here and let's just put something like as a placeholder just to get this going. First, okay, opaque. We're going to want some translucency. We don't just want a square. We're going to want to like have a gradient and fade it out into some opacity. So now that enables our opacity. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. I don't know what I want. Let's just pick a color. I don't know. Vector 3. Nope. Yep. 3. Nope. 3. Our opacity is going to be in a separate node. So let's just go with something fiery. I don't know. Now remember, this is just strictly to get our placeholder in place. Now let's just see what it looks like. Right? Let's see. We'll see the size. We'll see the color. Get a feel for what it looks like in there. An option would be for me to open up like Affinity and just like draw in what I want. And maybe I should, but I'm very like programmatic. I want to just like see what I can do first rather than try to create the art and then back engineer. I don't know. It's just because I'm a coder first, and I'm definitely not a designer. I wish I was. My wife is a designer. I'm not a designer. It'd be cool if we could like work together and she can like design stuff for me and I could like code it. That's like kind of dream team material. That would be awesome. But let me see. Gameplay UI. Is that what I called it? Uh, I don't think this is it. Gameplay UI. Sounds like what it should be. Man, I don't know. Maybe I should get better at naming. See, that's the thing. Like with a game, if you do it at 1 hour increments a day, you get to a point where, you know, certain things that you did a year ago, and it's hard to remember. So that's one downside. Oh, arcade gameplay UI. Now, that's right. This is called arcade mode. This bar. For instance, there's a few modes. There's like free throw mode. This doesn't exist in free throw mode. So that's why my arcade game mode is derived from my game mode base. You can tell that it did have this in it already. This is inherited from the game mode. This is just an additional piece. Now let me think. This meteor gauge, this is only going to be in arcade mode. Like free throw, you're just going to have your normal straight up basketball game, and that's it. This screen is wrong. I want this to be on a phone. I don't know. This is the phone I have. So just for now, and I want landscape portrait. All right. Now we have a more accurate representation of what we're going to see on the phone. And now this is where I want the gauge to show up. So let me just check the time real quick. Oh, plenty of time. Okay. Let's see. So what we're going to have this overlay, a fire gauge, and what is the overlay? Okay, so the overlay, I believe, is the glow around the gauge. So that's a separate element. I don't want that to be here. And I could probably rename this fire gauge overlay. just so I know what it is. And now what I want is to look for my meteor gauge. Awesome, here it is, because we made it, so it's there. So I'm going to drag this in, and let's see, where did it appear? Up here. So we want this to be like here. I don't know. We have to play with the positioning and everything. But I'm a little sad that I don't see the thing that's supposed to be in there. Maybe I didn't save it. Who knows? Let's come back here. Ah, I didn't apply the material. Nope, I definitely did. Compile it. Woo! There we go. There's our ball. This is like the beginnings of our ball. It's not a ball yet. It's gonna be a ball. So maybe what we can get done before I stop, let's give you guys an idea of what's coming up, is we're gonna try to make this little thing look like a meteor ball. This will be fun. I like playing with materials. They scare me because it's complicated, but it's so much fun. It's like a playground. It's like a game developer's playground. It's really fun. So let's just start. Here we have our mat. Now, what do I know about this material? It's got to be a ball, a circle. So, what do we need for a circle? We need a radial gradient. Radial gradient. Cool. Now, what we need to do with this gradient is tweak the parameters to get the proper. Yeah, let's start previewing it so we can see what we got. Oh, that's nice. I mean, yeah, we want this. Now, now the colors here, we're gonna want to fade out this opacity. So let's take our texture coordinates and feed that into the UVs. And let's create parameters for this. So we have a float scalar. How do I get it? Scalar parameter. That's what we want. We'll call this radius and the density. We also want that. Let's duplicate it. Control W. Let's call this density. Hey, density. Pull this into there. Now, by default, I think there's 0. That's no good. Default for radius 1, density 0. I don't even know what's the density. What's the default? Does it say in here? 233. Who would have thought that? I don't know. I didn't think that. All right. So are we previewing this? I think we are. It's not good. That's not what I thought. All right. So now okay. What I do next typically is I'll create an instance of this material. Create a material instance. Who cares what we call it? And first we got it. Where's our material? First we got to save it, apply it. Oh, and we can't be previewing it. That doesn't make any sense. But let's put this into opacity. Okay, it's getting a little bit closer. And now let's apply it and save it and check out our instance. So now we can override our density and our radius and just see what happens. Okay. Ooh. Oh. I always get excited when it does like what I think it should do. And it looks like 0.5 is the magic number where it starts bleeding over the edge. So, but we can fix that. We can set this up as an equation. So, as it grows, I don't know, you know what I'm saying. Let's put in 0.5 radius. What is this density going to do? Ooh, just right off. So we don't want a super crisp edge. We want to have the ball like, I don't know. I don't know. But that's why it is an instance parameter. We can screw it around with it. So let's go at 16. I don't know. What do I know? Now don't forget to take these numbers and put them back, because this is just the instance. Nothing here is going to be saved. So we're going to go here and we're going to say, oh, we're not going to go here. We're going to go here. And we're going to set this radius to 0.5, and the density was 16-ish. So now we have, there we go. Now let's apply it and see what it looks like in our UI. Definitely incorrect. That's okay. That's because I resized it here. It's wrong. How do I, oh, let's see, the size X is changing. Size X, size Y. I want to size the content. Yeah, that's what I want. What time is it? Time check again. God, we're making good time. Better time than I thought. So now we want to keep this to size the content. Now, what happens if I oops, what happens if I resize? Nope, I got to uncheck this first. So that's weird. I thought it would kind of grow, but I guess something in here, whatever. All right, so I'm going to go with this. We want to size the content, but we're going to play with the content size. So that means, what does that mean? That means we want to make this bigger. What happens? How do we scale this? Texture coordinate. Can I multiply? There's only one way to find this stuff out. Well, there's two ways. You could Google, or you can just screw around with stuff. So let's size 0. No. What happens if we make this 5? What happens if we make it 10? This is what we want. But as you see, as we make this 10, we're going to have to change the radius to half of that. So we'll make the radius 5. And that also means we have to change the center position to 0.5, 0.5. So it's also, all right, so multiply this by 0.5. Let's see. Center. This isn't really going to change, so it doesn't need to be. No, I thought that was going to work. Hold on. Let's see, we got 10. Is it? There we go. There we go. Okay. Now let's just apply, move back to our... What's going on here? Oh. Oh. Wait, no. Size is 10. Default is 0.5. All right. So we need to go back to our... Do we have to override anything? Oh, this should have worked. All right, so if I undo everything, I get a bigger ball. because all the defaults are correct. So we have our instance, we have our mat, everything's fine here. Our in-play UI, we have our Meteor Gauge. Where's our Meteor Gauge? Here. Compile it. Save it. I don't know. What is going on? All right. I'm not even mad because so far everything is it's going pretty good. And I have 9 minutes left. I've got 9 minutes. I got 9 minutes. I'm gonna get this. Oh, why isn't it the right size? Okay, let's see. This is ugly, but it works. Corner goes into here. Multiply. Let me just, okay, as a sanity check, let's change this to 15. Now it's a square. Let's apply it and make sure that we see something change in Arcade UI. We did. Oh, boy. All right, so I'm convinced it's something wrong with this. All right, so what's wrong here is the Meteor Gauge image itself, maybe? Let's see. So here's the Meteor Gauge. We have a hard set here. Size is 3232. That's not what we want. Okay. I'm just thinking, okay, so maybe this is 100, 100. Could it be that simple? Okay. Yeah, it's that simple. Oops. So I don't know what we did here. Don't know. But I like all this math. It works out. We might need to tweak that, and I don't see a downside of keeping it, so we're keeping it. We're keeping it, but we're putting this back down to 5. And we're going to apply. Take a look at our game. All right, now we have a ball. Now what we want this to be is a fire. We want this to be fire. I don't know if we're going to be able to get to that, but let's just, I just want to see kind of what, so this is how it's going to fade out. This is kind of like, gradient opacity stuff. And this is the color. Now, this is what we want different. So I'm just going to throw something together just to like whet my appetite for what I'm going to do tomorrow. Texture sample, texture sample. And let's see, we're just going to steal our texture, which is our meteor. What did we call it? Fire. No. Fire gauge. Lava. What the hell did I call it? Yeah, lava texture. All right, this is just the texture we took off of Google Images. Now let's put this in here. Now we're gonna want to make it glow. Woo! All right, so we're gonna need to make it glow, right? So we're gonna have some HDR, DR, derive HDR, LDR. I never remember how this works. Gosh. But our input is going to be this. We know the output is going to go here. And we want to change our intensity and our tint. So let's pick a color. Why did I erase my color? Vector, constant vector 3. Want something fiery and something bright. I don't know. We'll play with this. Maybe an orangey thing will be better. Our intensity multiplier. HDR intensity. 0 is never good. 1 is going to give us no difference. 10. Oh, cool. But no. Also, you know what I'm thinking? I want like a Fresnel around the edges. Drive HDR power. Scalar. HDR power. I don't know. Should this be 3 or lower? Or... No, should be. Maybe let's try 0.3. I don't know. Definitely not going to have enough time. 3 minutes left. But we definitely want a texture coordinates to go into a panner, to go into the UVs. And let's set our X speed to 2. Whoa, no. 0.2? Still too fast. 0.1. We're going to definitely play with this. But just for now, to end the stream on, just like what is to be expected next. Let's see our arcade UI. All right. Oh! I like it. This is going to be awesome. God. See, and like all I had was a half an hour, literally a half an hour in the beginning of my day before I start work. You just make tiny, tiny steps for your progress. I really like this. I really like it, and I'm super excited to keep going. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.